and a nice little look right across there. Unfortunately, that's where we need to leave it as we turn our attention to the A finals. All the races are on 5-minute stagger right now. Lane 1, we have William Simpson. Lane 2, Stephen Ross. Let Max take us through the rest.
Lane 3, Michael Spiela. Lane 4, Liam Smith. Lane 5, Andrew Hubbard. And Lane 6, Tarek Bean. You can see they're off the start lines, away, quick rate of striking, seeing who can get their bow out first. We see the athletes there in the middle lanes who would have had the top seed from the semifinals. Looked like they've had a quick start. That's Liam Smith there on the screen on the right, rowing really well actually, right out of the gates there. Seems like he had a bit of a lead.
And we just saw the umpire raise a white flag and gesture to one side. What does that mean?
Well, the white flag is to let everybody know that a clean start has been had. The rules at a regatta like this, I believe that there's still a breakage rule in the first 100 meters. So if an athlete is suffering from any sort of technical problem, whether it's an oarlock that is broken or something on their seat is broken, if it happens within the first 100 meters, then they're able to, at that point, stop and restart the race. But the white flag there signifies that everybody is all clear and now the race is underway.
And an umpire might also use a white flag to signify to get back in your lane. Isn't that correct, Max?
That's absolutely correct. The umpires have that vantage point of looking down the lanes from behind the athletes. They can give them the heads up of exactly where they need to steer, making sure that athletes are staying in their lane and keeping racing fair.
And while we wait for our cameras to catch up with the very fast men's single, who seem to have shaken our cameraman loose, maybe we can talk about, you mentioned rate of striking. Tell me a little bit about why the start would be at a higher rate of striking, and for those listening at home, that means how many strokes you're taking per minute. In a men's single, what would you see a start and kind of a settle at?
Well, of course, you're starting from a dead stop. So as you would see in sort of a track and field race, the athlete needs to accelerate to get up to speed. So a considerable amount of effort will be needed to initially break the inertia of being still. And then, of course, as the athlete gets out and settles into their pace, they're going to lengthen their stroke rate out, and they're going to try and aim for something that is a little bit more sustainable over the length of the track.
We're seeing the final strokes of the B final for the men's single on the screen here. Hopefully we can get a chance to see that A final that is now 2 minutes underway. There it is on our screen. So you can see lane 4, that's Liam Smith, the athlete from University of British Columbia, to a lead now past the first 500 meters. Now, Andrea, Liam had quite an active summer of racing for Team Canada. We want to run through his races that he competed in?
Well, I'll start with one of the highlights for me because I got to commentate on part of it, and that was for Henley Royal Regatta, which is probably one of the most well-known races in the world. It's older than the Olympics. Liam had an unfortunate draw in that he was going up against the 6'9" or 7" Olli Zeidler from Germany, current world champion, actually 3-time world champion now, an absolute dominant force in the men's single scull. But I was really impressed with how he just leaned into the challenge. Henley Royal is a 1v1 race, so unlike this traditional racing, 6 boats across, it's a 1 knockout. So if you lose, you unfortunately are not able to progress. Lots of young faces in this A final, which is great to see, and I think a real testament to the Next Gen program. We actually have 3 U23s in this race.
That's right. So these under-23 athletes will be looking to make their mark at either the Pan American Games later this year down in Santiago, Chile, or they will be looking to get a position on the under-23 team next year. Or some of them, this will be their last year, and they're going to be looking to try and get senior funding to come and train out here in Duncan with the senior team.
Beautiful overhead
great
shot.
Great view from overhead, so we can see Liam Smith in the lead. And then to his right, we have the athlete Michael Sipiela in second place. Liam has a little bit of open water, so clearly his experience of racing this summer in the single is leading to some great racings at Nationals. He is our defending national champion, having won the Nationals last year.
And squinting down the course, well, I think they're past the 1,000-meter mark, and that's always a tough place here as they come towards the 500 meters left. This is where the fatigue has really started to sink in. Your legs are starting to feel a little bit heavy, and this is where you have to start thinking about some decisions being made. And it looks like Liam is under pressure, not going to row away with this early in the race, is he?
Yeah, I believe actually that's the right correction. That's Stephen Ross that we have beside Liam. And the great thing about these two is that they competed in the same boat at the World Championships this summer. They're racing in in the Canadian men's quad. So as two teammates racing together, they have to obviously grow together as a quad, but then they get broken down into singles here, and it's mano-a-mano, best man wins.
Yeah, riding there just with William Simpson from Rowing BC there. A little look out to the left as he knows that he has to push 3 medals on the offer right now as they come towards the final 500, Taylor.
Liam's doing a great job here. Actually, I just want to quickly comment on rowing in the water as it kind of stacks up down the course here. A little more waves to deal with. The athlete has to make sure they're tapping down, clearing their hands nice and low, getting those blades up off the water to allow for the most efficient stroke.
That's right. And another thing to keep in mind, too, is the under-23 athletes will also have an opportunity to compete for senior medals. So if you are the first under-23 sculler in a race and you finish second, you not only will win the under-23 gold medal, but you will also come second in the senior medal. So there's lots to play for here.
Looks like it's really opened up the field here. That's always exciting if you're the boat that has the view. One great thing about rowing is you get to see who's in front of you, not like you're running and peeking over your shoulder. You get a real opportunity to see what the results of your hard efforts are.
Absolutely, and I think one of the best things about that is just the psychological advantage that you have here. So we're deep into the third quarter of the race now, coming into the final 500 meters. It looks like Liam Smit has shot out in front like a rocket.
Yeah, but there's a race developing for silver right behind him here, and it's between Stephen Ross and Michael Cipietta. They are neck and neck right now. Always hard to tell with the camera angle, so it looks to me like Stephen Ross has about half a boat length. There's the bow for William Simpson in lane 1. Right next to them, about 4 boats and only 3 medals up for grabs as they come towards the final 250.
You can see they're well into the final 250. They're coming into the last 100 meters now. Liam Smith bringing the race stroke rate up. Pushing his bow out in front. He's going to win another national title, the reigning champion. Ooh, and even bringing the stroke rate down just to finish the last few strokes of the A final in the men's single.
Heading towards the finish line here. He is looking so comfortable. It will be Liam Smit as our new national champion, but the stroke rates are going up for the final 2, and it looked to me like it was Stephen Ross right across the finish line, but right behind him, Michael Cipielli. We'll wait for the finals, the photo finish, to tell us exactly what that answer was, but that's certainly what it looked like from here at the commentator's box.
And that's the last athlete coming through for in 6th place there. Great racing to start our area finals.
Fantastic, and a great crowd here. If you're in the area, please come on down. If you're yelling at your laptops, well, we're so happy to have you with us here. This is going to be a fantastic day of racing already well underway. That was the A final of the men's singles. Next up will be the women's singles as we watch these athletes paddle in for a little bit of a cool down.
Real crowd starting to come around the finish line, don't you think? This is great. Community coming together to watch some racing here around at our national championships.
Well, and we love it when you're able to watch something that's so accessible too, right? There's no parking here, so no parking fee here, so you're more than anyone is welcome to come down. We have people here on their bikes with their families and a cup of coffee in these beautiful conditions. The ducks are out, and the conditions look like they're going to continue to hold with that nice tailwind, hopefully giving us some fast times.
So we'll give a chance here to